Hello and welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy. This is the Ask Videomail for the week of October 1st, 2012. Welcome to the site to all you new members, and welcome back to the site to you old members. Don't forget, the Ask Videomail is your chance to get your question in character animation or performance answered in a video just like this one, but I need your question if I'm going to answer it, so please send your questions to webmaster@kennyroy.com. I go through all the questions and I answer the ones I think will help the most people. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and it's the best way to get the most out of this site. So, back from Animalia. It was last week and the week before, and my lord, am I tired. I came back to a lot of work on my plate, but you know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world. We had an amazing time. I'm going to be putting the film online. Yes, you will get to see it, and I'm going to be putting the webcast, the daily sessions that we had, in a section here on the site, so you can go back and actually watch our progress as we worked on the film. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead and tell your friends. I'd like everyone to see what we did. I think we did a great job and performed pretty much heroically. So I think that it'd be a good thing for everyone to watch and be inspired. So tell them when I put it up to come by. It's going to be free for everybody to watch here on KennyRoy.com. You don't have to be a member. And that's just it. Really appreciate everyone that came by the webcast and encouraged us and supported us, and we had just a great time. So in celebration, or commemoration rather, of the fact that we did that, I wanted to do an Ask Videomail this week that kind of had to do with a major workflow thing that we had to do on the film a lot, which was switching rigs out and copying and pasting animation. So I wanted to show you just step by step the quickest, best way to copy animation from one rig to another, even if there are slight rig changes that make it so that they're not 100% compatible. We'll do that here. So let's just jump right in. So here we have a scene from the film, and this is a shot, it's a hilarious shot, where Babinski gets clotheslined by a swinging chain, and then he drinks his rum like a pirate would, and then he gets super powered and flies off screen like Popeye. Like rum is to Babinski as spinach is to Popeye. So, but this is the old rig, and we needed to put in the new rig. So basically the way you do this is very, very simple. I'm going to create your reference for your final rig, your updated rig, and now it's really important if your character, if your rigger rather, can make it so that all of your rigs are totally compatible, but that's not totally possible every single time, because you might ask for new features, you might ask for awesome new updates and upgrades, and some things may need to be actually fixed. So whatever the reason, there might be some hierarchical changes or some name changes. Now normally name changes won't have a big impact on the rig, because Maya is pretty smart and it walks down the hierarchy instead of walking down the looking for different names and such. So that being the case, though, we have a little bit of work to do on this. So the way to copy and paste animation, the simplest, is to have your new rig in the scene. It's not to export an animation file or an FBX or anything like that. And the reason is because you can troubleshoot much better if you use the actual edit keys copy and paste tools. Now these tools actually, if you look, they actually have the exact same options as the export animation file options. So if you have a .anim file, it has all of this in there as well. So let me just reset it, okay? Make sure that it's starting from default, and you select the root of your character, because you want to, if you can, you want to take advantage of all of the hierarchical things that are the same, and then just fix what needs to be fixed later, right? So we're going to start with default, but then we're going to select below, okay, and all keyable, so it's not just what's loaded in the channel box, all keyable attributes that are below the selected node, okay, and turn on driven channels and control points. okay? And then that's it. Time range all, default, that's fine, and hit copy keys. Now if you look at the bottom, it says result 235. That's how many animation curves are on this character. It's not the total number of channels. There's a lot more than that. Copy keys only copies channels that have animation on them. So if you place your character using that root controller, that master, or whatever you want to call it, and you don't put a key on it, that won't transfer over. So something very important, like where the character is going to start, you need to put a key on that. Normally what I do is I select all of the controls and I just hit set key on frame 1, and that normally takes care of it. Before I copy, rather. So that is what I do normally, but when I selected this root, I saw that there was animation on it. I might actually put a key on all the controls on frame 1 anyway, just because there might be something, normally not, but like every once in a while there might be something that was posed but not keyed on the character. So for instance, if the ponytail is he's got a little like knot with the bandana, right? The bandana ponytail. If it's a shot like this and he shakes like this, but it's not really seen, and the animator didn't want to really put like overlap on that because it's not really seen, well, they might have taken it and just tilted it down, right? But if they tilt it down so that it's out of the way if the character swings their head and didn't key it, then it's just going to boop, pop right back up. So every once in a while something will come up like that, but just make sure that you are copying the channels that have keys on them, and you'll be fine. Okay, so anyway, I hit copy, we got that result, and now I can just select this root of my other character, my new character, the final rig, and then go into paste keys. Now let me make sure it's default. Okay, so I reset, and we're going to choose clipboard. That means what's copied into the clipboard right now. No time offset, no value offset, one copy. Okay, so it's just going to play once, and then we're going to just go replace and then entire curve. So that means that if there's any keys there, it's not going to insert them and move those keys around. It's just going to replace the entire curve, okay? And not just the time range either. It just basically says if there's any animation on any of these keys or any of these curves right now, get rid of them. This is the new animation, point blank period, okay? And then you just hit paste. And as you can see, our new rig basically is in the exact same position except for a few small things. Now, you will troubleshoot your rigs and find out, hey, what did the rigger change that made it so that the hierarchy has broken now? And it's very simple. On Babinski, our final model had a different neck and head hierarchy, and it had a different hand hierarchy, and these extra shape nodes, shape controllers on the arms and legs. The face as well needed to be copied explicitly because it has its own separate rig as well. But I'll show you what we do now. So as you notice, I like to tear off this menu because once I have my settings set, copy and paste works very, very, very quickly. You don't have to set it every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my old Babinski neck, and I can see that it has keys on it right here. And if I shift and drag over it, it'll invert my selection because it toggle selects, and it'll select the old or the new one. There's no animation there, right? So I'm going to select the old one, copy, and then watch it paste. See how it goes in there? All right. And then the old head, copy, the new head, paste. See that? It snaps right where it needs to be. Okay, same thing with the hands. And now this is the other thing I want to show you. You can use this as well on the face rig. You can use this on the shape controls on this rig. You can use it basically everywhere where there is a hierarchical change. The idea is that you want to step up the hierarchy and get as many controls copied at the same time that you can. All right, and so what that means is let's say there was a group node and then all the finger controls underneath it. But now on the new rig, there's a group node and then an offset group and then all the finger controls. All right. That means that all that animation that was looking for those finger controls underneath that top group node is not going to find those fingers anymore. So what you need to do is select the highest node that you can that is the same between the two rigs. All right. And still get all that animation in. You don't want to go too high because obviously you're going to go above where that change was made, okay? And you don't want to go so high that you're just copying keys that have no animation on them as well. But for instance, for the fingers, we're looking for like a group node that is similar between them, like something like a finger group node. So that's what we're going to look for, okay? Rather than copy every single finger one at a time, all right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to move the time to a key that might have a little bit more finger animation on them. And if the animators used the finger bend controls rather than the finger, this master, there's like this, I don't know what to call it, it's kind of like a master finger controller, then this had particular problems because this one worked. This one actually picked up the final keys, but these little bend controls on the fingers, these little bend controls right here did not. Okay, as you can see, because there's no animation on them. So we're going to go ahead, just open up the outliner, okay, and then we're going to, it's very simple. We're going to select the old control and hit F, which will frame it in the outliner. And then we see that here is the controller, index 2. Then there's an offset, and then there's the bone, okay? Then there's an offset, pivot, another bone, okay? So this is walking up the joints, okay? So where's the bone attached to? All right, what hierarchy is it underneath? It looks like pretty much this fingers group right here selects all of these controls as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit copy keys, and you'll see the result. It's 76. Okay, great. So there's 76 curves on these keys, and then I'm going to select the new rig's finger control, and I'm going to see if I can find that fingers group, and here it is. Okay, and it looks like it walks up the same way. Here's the joint, and then there was those two offsets, and then the finger group. So I'm just going to see if I copy from finger group to finger group if it works. And if I hit paste, boom, it snaps perfectly into position. You basically can't see it because it's perfectly on top of one another. Let's do that one more time so that you can just see on the other rig, okay? Or on the other hand, rather. So I hit F in the outliner. Here's the pinky. Let me find, here it is, fingers group, copy. Okay, frame, fingers group, paste. There it is, it snaps perfectly. Okay, now the facial animation, like I just said, it didn't copy. You can do the same thing in the face control panel as well. All right, so here's the old, or sorry, here's the white is the old and the red is the new. You can actually shift select a few of them and hit copy, and if you select the others in the same order and hit paste, boom, they snap perfectly in place. One thing you need to be comfortable with is toggle selecting. Shift doesn't add selection, Control Shift does, right? So if I select this one and we see that it has animation over here, right? How do I select the other one without screwing this up? Just hold on Shift and it selects the one behind it, right? And deselects the one you had selected, okay? So it's very advantageous. I'll show you really quickly. So I select this one and then I select this one, okay? It stayed animated over here in the channel box, so I know that, okay, I'm copying actual animation, copy, and then I'm going to select this one and then shift select this one, but look, it has animation on it. That's not the one I wanted, so I'm just gonna hold down Shift, drag a box, select the other one, and then hit paste, right? So now all of this animation has been copied, and I can go through the whole panel and do that as well. All right. So anyway, that is by large the best way to copy animation. It saves you not only time, because exporting .anim files or getting really tricky with scripts and replacing references is just not going to work. At a certain point, you need to be able to have both of the models in scene and just transfer wherever there's a problem. So that is the way to do it, and I hope that unsticks some problems that you have in production. We will resume the Ask Video Mail in the normal sense next week, so please send in your questions. I always need new questions, and I love answering them, so send them to webmaster@kennyroy.com, and we'll just get started and have a great time. By the way, it's a little bit of a slow month, if you want to call it that, but in November, things pick right back up again with CTN on the 18th, or I think it's 16th through 18th, and then also I'm doing the Autodesk University. I'll give you some more information on that, but it's going to be an amazing training resource for students in North America, potentially the world, to come to Las Vegas and get some training from some media masters on Autodesk software. So check out the site for more information on that. That is the end of November 26th through the 29th, I believe. And then in December, I have some training abroad as well. So anyway, we're going to calm things down a little bit here, kennyroy.com, through the month of October. But I need your questions, so please send stuff in. I'm looking forward to working with you. Good luck with your animation, and as always, rock on.